let's record it. So just on that point, if we are not sure what we're doing, and break it off a little bit at a time. And the littlest thing that you can do is that. Just doc type HTML tags, save those. Absolutely, you need to have a head and you need to have a body. So in the head, we put our title, and then as you go, every new step you do, check it. Just check it. Control S, save. Go over to open up our website and see, okay, well, I spelled that wrong, right? This list is our class for today. And so I check things as I go, and we're building our website as we go. Okay, so what else we got in our website? Well, we got a list. We got an unordered list. You know, I don't know what was special about that. We had 2 paragraphs in it or something, right? So so in the list items are as you might guess, they have a tag called list item. So this is and I remember this one had paragraphs in it, right? So we could say a bunch of stuff, and then we could have another one. Oh, goodness gracious. Can't type for beans. Where's my thing? So how did I get to there? Class practice there. Yeah. LI. So some more stuff, right? So I'm going to put this one also with P tags. So this is basically the exercise that you're doing, except they've got a bunch of words that I haven't got. And then we got another tag there, right? Another P tag. And so that's basically the first list. What I mean is, oh, didn't save it. The first list is just like that. And what do we got? We got a list which is just an unordered list. And what we've done with it is we've got two lists, 2 items in the list, but one of them's got 2 paragraphs. That was the first thing that we did. All right, so that's our first list. Then after that, we've got another unordered list. But the second unordered list has got, oh goodness, has got a nesting going on. So this one, yeah, list items, and we're going to nest inside this another list, which is an ordered list. And so we could have our items 1, 2, and 3. I don't feel like typing all that because I'm kind of slow on typing, so I'm copying and pasting and pasting. Okay. You can do a lot of copying and pasting when you're making websites. And so I got then we have another ordered list after this. So that, yeah, okay, there's our first list item. Then we got our second list item, and it's another ordered list. But this ordered list starts from item number 4. And yeah, and so then we have our other items, right? LI. Oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to copy that. You find yourself doing that a bit, right? Okay, so and bear with me. Why did I do all that? To show you, right? Yeah, making a website, yeah, maybe seems like it's a little bit hard, but we take it a bit at a time, and we're testing it as we go. So I took this and I sort of, while I was thinking about this, I wasn't thinking about anything else, right? First, I get my skeleton, which is just the head and the body. Get that in there. Test that it works. Then I get the element that I'm working at the moment. Work on it one element at a time. So I'm going to work on this list item. When I get that list item working, then I'll go to the next element. That's our website is broken up into lots of different elements, and that's where we sort of need to focus on those things. That's kind of how that list came to be. So you, and in fact, what I showed you is exactly how I did it, except I typed a lot more words when I was doing this right thing because I was following the stuff in the instructions there, right? I mean, following the words in the Word document, you know. But I didn't start here and type down to there. No, I never do that. I start here and I did UL, enter. Then I did the LI, enter. You know what I mean? I did it one element at a time. If you do that, you but you know what I mean? Every time I open a tag, I close it at the same time. Then I go inside the tag and start editing. I hope that you saw that. That's how it's doing here, right? So what? And again, the last one, which I haven't shown you, is this terms and definitions table. And so that's I got a special name, this DL, definition list. And so the DL kind of looks like the other one, except what we've got here is we got a term and then a definition, a term and then a definition. As I said, take it an element at a time. So we got this element, do my term element, then do my definition. All you have to remember is for every term, there's a definition. So do a term, then do a definition, do a term, do a definition. And then you end up with something that looks, that one here is this. Now, when I say it looks like this, if you just did this stuff, it's not going to look like that. How I made it look like, what I mean, all the things will be organized like that. But to get the different bolding and blocking, that requires styling, which has been done up here in my style area, right? Now, maybe I could. Are you guys okay with that? If I can talk about styling? But bring down this stuff here between the style tags. What we're doing there is different elements, and each element has its own name. So body refers to everything between the body tags. DT refers to everything inside the DT tags, right? UL stands for any unordered list, but it's not any. It's only the one which is class A. So you guys are talking about Python, because I think you're taking the Python course. Python is a modern programming language. It's object oriented, and so objects, they have methods and they have classes. All right, and so when you start going into methods and classes and object oriented in your Python, you're probably not doing that in the first exercises that you're doing. But when you get into that, you'll know that when you want to call a class or a method, you're going to use the dot sign, right? You'll say, where is that, and what is the name of that class that it's part of? And so we use a dot. A dot, whatever follows a dot, is going to be a class. And so that works in HTML too. And I hope you won't be too surprised that, why are you studying Python? Python actually integrates with HTML. Okay, we can sort of insert into there. And also it's very similar to a programming language we call JavaScript, and kind of similar to Java, which JavaScript is also similar to. But JavaScript, we can write JavaScript code directly into our HTML. And so this is what's powering the internet. The internet, you notice when you go on the internet, you don't just see boring, boring sites like this. You see sites like bank sites that are allowing you to move money around, and you see shopping sites which are allowing you to shop. You see social media sites which are allowing you to send pictures and talk to people. I mean, so much programming is involved in all of that, right? But the basic, what's underneath it, what's below it, what is the sort of the bedrock of it is the HTML, but all of those other things plug into it. So including your other programming languages. Kind of exciting journey that you're starting on, but you need to get this sort of start part going, I think. Um, so we can style a class. So when we in the style tags, we 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 can say the name of an element and how we want to style it. Or we can use a more specific way of highlighting something. We can give a class or we can give an ID actually. And so here we've got a class. I've got a class of unordered list, which I've called class A, and I've got another class unordered list, which I've called class B. And so because I've done that, I can style them differently. Okay, somebody's talking about 0. Or is it 0? Sir, I checked my PeopleSoft and I saw that Excel Lab 0. So if there's a 0 there, that's because I haven't put the marks in. Yes. Safa, my apologies. And everybody in the class is going to have 0 at the moment as their labs. But as soon as I get the marks in, then it will change to the marks, and I expect it probably be so. I have marked a couple of labs. That'll give you an indication of how I mark. So whatever did you get on that lab, out of 10, that's probably the way the others are going to be marked. And so don't worry. I don't think the only person that will get 0 in their Excel labs is a person who didn't hand any in. But I will put the mark, but maybe not today. All right. I will put the mark. So what will happen is I need to put a mark for the mid semester. So very good that you asked that question, though, Safa, because when you do the cumulative grade in PeopleSoft, it'll look lower than it is. All right, and because the cumulative grade once it is averaging between the labs and the, you know what I mean, and so your grade will look slower. That's why if you want to see your grade, what's your grade, probably the best thing to do is just look at the grades that are in there. Just look at the uh, quiz and the test, and maybe you can average them. But that's about how you're doing it at the moment. Most people do pretty good in the labs. Well, I mean, most people are getting 8 out of 10 or more in the labs. So yes, I will put a mark. Don't worry too much about the labs. Oh, the other thing is the labs are like 5 marks. So yeah, well, that's still a lot. Still like the quiz, right? So I have named this as a class A, and that allows me to style it differently than I did this other class. And that means that class A can have different bullets than class B. And so that's what we're able to do there. But we're using the list style command in the CSS, I got a different bullet for A than I did for B. And yeah, that's kind of what's happened there. That's about it, I think, in terms of. Oh, one other thing with the styling, we got a special thing here that I threw in there, which is this thing called a span. What the span does is it allows you to put in a special bit of styling just for whatever is in between the two span tags. So what you do is you put a span, and then you put some command inside the span. So here I got 2 commands inside the span, right? What I'm doing is I'm changing the font weight to be bold, and I'm making the size large. And so what that does is for this how to create an executable file, that's there. So I made that's a large font with a bold face. So that was done with this little thing in there. Now I needed to do that because if I tried to put some other kind of styling, it would mess up my table. Sorry, not my table, my list. So those are. I think I'm not going to go any further on that. I think that's kind of enough on that. So what I'd like to do is see if there's any